The ALETHEON, the divine avataric self-revelation of his divine presence, Avatar Adi Da Samraj, Volume 1. From the back cover, perfect non-knowing is the intrinsically egoless and self-evidently divine state of perfect ignorance. Perfect ignorance is the intrinsically egoless and self-evidently divine state of perfect truthfulness. Perfect truthfulness is ALETHEON, or perfect knowledge of the intrinsically egoless, indivisible, acausal, and self-evidently divine self-nature, transcendental spiritual self-condition, and perfect self-state of reality itself. About the front cover. The image on the cover, while simple in form, is a visual communication potent with meaning. Created by Avatar Adi Da himself, this image is a variation on the imagery from his suite entitled Oculus 1. The white circle in the black field is what Avatar Adi Da calls the midnight sun, a visual representation of the divine self-brightness shining in the midst of the cosmic domain. As his divine presence writes in part 19 of the ALETHEON, there is a sun that is forever risen in the night sky of the body-mind. It is the eternal sun, the self-bright, midnight sun, infinitely above the mind and the crown of the head, and not perceptible by the presuming to be separate observer. The eternal midnight sun perfectly transcends all of the cosmic and egoic perception of division, duality, or difference between light and dark. The eternal midnight sun is, truly, the divine face of my threshold form. The midnight sun is the whole in the universe. It is not itself black. It is the whole in the black. It is divine being. Shown as apparently objectified vision seen, the divine self-nature, self-condition, and self-state of reality itself seemingly objectively shown to the heart root of perfectly subjective sight. When there is perfectly subjective divine translation into and as that place, or the divine self-nature, self-condition, and self-state of reality itself, there is nothing more to say. That is my divine bright spherical self-domain. The image of the circle of infinity, or the white hole in the midst of the blackness, is a visual image of the structure of reality itself and truth itself. In truth, it is the face of Da. It is literally my face. Thus, most simply, the midnight sun is the eternal form of the very divine person of reality itself, Adi Da Samraj, avatarically appearing everywhere in the cosmic domain. Simultaneously, the midnight sun represents the ultimate process of divine translation, the divine gift of the perfect outshining of all conditionality, the gift which Avatar Adi Da Samraj came here to give. Specifically, the midnight sun represents the universally consequential event which occurred at Rishiradam Heritage on April 12, 2000. In this event, Bhagavan Adi Da miraculously demonstrated, for the sake of all beings, the ultimate outshining of conditional existence, or the process of divine translation, while remaining physically alive in bodily form. The red field of the cover image is a representation of the outermost circle or conditional realm of the cosmic mandala. As Avatar Adi Da has revealed, the grossest dimension of conditionally manifested existence is seen in visionary terms as a red field. Therefore, the red field of the cover image represents Avatar Adi Da's divine avataric self-emergence in the outermost realms of the cosmic mandala, where he did his divine work of making divine translation possible for all beings everywhere in the cosmic domain. Altogether, the juxtaposition of the midnight sun and the red field visually communicates the two defining yogic events in the avataric incarnation lifetime of Avatar Adi Da Samraj, the event of his divine avataric self-emergence and the Rishiradam event. These two events epitomize Avatar Adi Da's divine avataric process of perfectly coinciding with every being and everything in every realm, from the highest to the lowest. I am the breakthrough of the non-conditional into the conditionally manifested cosmic domain. From the instant of my divine avataric birth to here, I am always now and forever hereafter perfectly coincident with all and all, here and everywhere in the cosmic domain. Page 1887, Volume 7. Indeed, the perfect coincidence of Avatar Adi Da Samraj with the entire cosmic domain is, as he confesses, the greatest and universally consequential event of cosmic history. Therefore, that perfect coincidence is the central message of the ALETHEON, and that message is visually epitomized in the cover image. The cover image is a logo chosen by Avatar Adi Da Samraj not only to represent himself and his divinely perfect coincidence with all and all, but also to represent the most senior renunciate order founded by him, the Sapta Na Sannyasin order of Adidam Rishiradam. The members of the Sapta Na Sannyasin order are those of my seventh stage Rishira Sannyasin devotees, in whom the transcendently spiritually manifested sign of priorly egoless indifference has become uniquely intense and life-pervading, such that a life entirely free of all social, organizational, cultural, and public obligations becomes both appropriate and necessary. Thus, for all my Sapta Na Sannyasin devotees, the fundamental event is egoless inherence in and as the indivisible and non-different self-nature, self-condition, and self-state of transcendental spiritual conscious light, no matter what arises or does not arise. The orders of my true and free renunciate devotees in Eleutherius. Thus, altogether, the cover image represents at once Avatar Adi Da's breakthrough into and coincidence with the entire cosmic domain and his gift to all beings of most perfect or seventh stage realization of his divine state. In other words, by breaking through into the cosmic domain and perfectly coinciding with everyone and everything, his divine presence, Avatar Adi Da Samraj, has made it possible for all beings and things to become perfectly one with him, the divine reality truth of existence. Such is the infinitely graceful reality conveyed by the words of his divine presence in the ALETHEON, and visually expressed by the image on the front cover. The representation of the midnight sun by itself as a white circle in the midst of a square black field, without the juxtaposed red field, appears many times within the pages of the ALETHEON, and also on the back cover. This quintessential icon is a form of repeated remembrance of the divine avatar as the source of the ALETHEON, and as himself the gift he describes and offers in the ALETHEON. This is the image that was just mentioned. Da, da, da.